Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thrice's Download with Thrice here, talking today about healing, body and soul. There's a little bit of a ailment going around in my house. I caught it a day and a half ago, it seems, when the temperature dropped back down to below freezing after being in a lovely average of 60s, 70s, I think. I don't even know what the high was, but it was beautiful, that's all I know. It's been weird here in Austin, Texas, guys. I'm going to rush through this a little bit. I tried to do one earlier, and basically baby is dealing with the first side effects. So we have already started battling it out here in the Saida household, though. We're got a little hoodoo shamanic scientific brew going on in a pot that we usually do that on average almost every day in the winter, leaving a pot on the stove. You turn on every now and then with essential oils, things. I mean, always use salt. Salt is used in many cultures as a sterilizer, and it's an ionizer if you're using certain kinds of salt. Like we have a pink salt rock lamp, and we use those all the time. But so ours today, it had onions, garlic, lemon, eucalyptus, and lavender. I do little extra things because if you look into like Druidic or Wiccan culture, when you're doing certain tonics or brews, things that are actually more sacrament to the air or the spirits around you, however you want to look at it from science or spiritual aspects. Sugars and salts are a big thing for that. Honey is another thing to appease certain aspects of this quantum entangled reality. So, maybe a little far-fetched for some of you, but just look at the science behind it on garlic, onion, putting it out in a jar. Onions, one thing you do with that. Hanging garlic. They've been used in certain cultures, even Europe, for defending against certain ailments. I don't know them off the top of my head. We'll go a little more into that maybe on a different show. I'd like to have a guest on who knows more about that to talk. But again, guys, with Thrice's Download every day here, about Monday through Thursday, I'm just bringing you some episodes, just short clips, 10 to 20 minutes, just information, guys. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because this is something that most people don't branch into, don't even try to learn about. And if you go out there and you search natural holistic healing techniques, and you'll pull up tons of information. And I know some people may think that this is some hocus pocus nonsense, but the reality is majority of our country is starting to move back to these old roots. And if you look at the actual history of it, just recently we moved into this modern medicine approach, of a mechanical approach of giving a certain substance in order to fix a problem, when the reality is there's a larger issue going on with the entire body. I mean, it comes down to health, on a grand total, not just the individual ailment itself. And that's where what we're doing with the steam in the house, that's just one aspect. There's also, you can do a garlic, lemon, and hot water tonic, where you drink that, and it's really good for your body, good for a lot of different things. You can feel it, right when you take that sip. It's very powerful. We add a little honey to that. Again, honey is a big thing we do. Another thing is wild mead, and I'm just listing off some things for you guys, because it's such a vast topic, and it's amazing how much information is out there because of the mass amount of cultures that we've had in our history that we actually have records of. And cultures still practicing today use a lot of holistic recipes and tonics, even these steam aspects. Steaming essential oils is actually an industry in our country. If you didn't know that, a lot of people probably know this, but there's people, it's like you can get into one of those franchise industries where you buy into a bulk of essential oils, and they're all organic. They make a lot of organic now, so that way you can actually use it in your foods as well as using it in diffusers. And those things, when you use like a lavender and eucalyptus, which is something else, or which was in what we brew, it actually, lavender, I believe it is antiviral, and eucalyptus, I mean, a lot of people know this, help a decongestant. So those two things alone in a diffuser can help in a house in the wintertime. And then also, if you do like we have one of those Vicks vapor ones, and you put the essential oils in there, you're getting steam, plus you're getting the essential oils. Some people say that coconut oil is like taking a little drop of coconut oil and mixing it with a couple drops of essential oil helps the diffusion process. Something about the fats in coconut oil. Not sure, you guys can look that up. I'm just kind of pulling stuff off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm doing this pretty quick. Got a little sick 5-month-old. I don't want to say sick. Words are everything. Words are very powerful. We're battling it out. He's just started getting a little congested, but once we did the brew, I'll tell you this, folks. It actually cleared up his congestion. It cleared up our congestion. Now, guarantee you, I'm still working out the kinks in essential oils, because essential oils can be so strong. I had to pull and dump some into a jar because I made too much and it was too strong, and so then I had to, what you can do also, I do this every time, but it was really helpful doing it this time because I overdid it. You open up your windows and doors and you turn on a fan. For us, we turn on the AC unit in fan mode, and what that does is you're causing that stagnant air, which again, if you ever get into mycelium studies of understanding mushrooms, and what mycelium is basically the body of the mushroom. Mushrooms are just fruit, the body of the plant kind of animal thing that is mushroom fungi is mycelium, and then you've got mushrooms. Anyways, that's kind of complicated, but if you're trying to grow mycelium, you can't have any bad things in a stale air environment, because what happens is they're able to actually grow easier. And I'm not sure the science behind that. What they teach you when you're studying these things is when you try to do wild things, like it's also like wild ferments. When you do wild ferment, you want it in open air, so you get a lot of different bacteria and yeast, and the strong ones get in there so they can survive. And those strong ones, or the good ones as they call them, are what help us stay strong. And that's why I call them strong ones. But when you have stale air, and if bad ones get in there, they can still survive and beat out the strong ones. And, they're all kind of strong. I don't know. They call them good and bad. And basically, the bad ones are the ones that can hurt you, and the good ones are the ones that ferment, like honey for mead, vegetables for like kimchi, sauerkraut. Fermenting is another amazing thing. I've been getting into the study of mycelium and fermenting with yeast and bacteria, all the different studies of those more molecular structures. I'm actually looking to get a microscope here soon, and I'll be able to hook it up to the computer and put out some pictures, because I think there is this guy, somebody I'd like to have on. I can't remember his name right now. I think it's Paul something with an S, but he has been putting out lectures on the study of mycelium and how it can actually get rid of like petroleum waste and garbage, and I mean, of course, mycelium can eat compost, and there's also mycelium that produce truffles, which truffles and mushrooms are two different things, but can come from the same mycelium growth. And mycelium growth basically means like tree. So there's so much out there, folks, when it comes to health and nature. And this goes way beyond just the physical. This goes into this spiritual quantum physics dimension of morphic resonance fields and the metaphysic aspects of emotions and vibrations affecting the cells and consciousness at the cellular level. I mean, if you haven't seen the movie What the Bleep Do We Know, that is a perfect example of a great lecture put in a pretty little package to really show you what's going on in the world. A perfect example of what's going on in our reality when it comes to the quantum mechanical aspect of the observer, of the consciousness, and the fact that you have 300 trillion consciousnesses inside of you that are your cells, that have your genetic makeup. And then on top of that, I think it's like 200 billion bacteria and yeast that live in your gut. It might be more than that, folks. So, and if it is more than that, then you just got to think, like, what does that really mean? I mean, we're constantly so selfish with our own individual lives of, I've got to do this, we've got to work, we've got to keep our economy, when the reality is there's life going on all around us every second. And what makes our lives worth more than theirs? And that's where we really, I keep hitting against this materialism approach, this materialistic lifestyle where animals are machines, we're machines. You can find consciousness in the brain, because that's a lie. They've already tried. You can't find consciousness in the brain. The reality is you don't exist without the little spark that's in your heart, and that's where a lot of the old teachings go to. So I know I'm ranting here, but I just want to, I want to really touch on this healing aspect when it comes to body and soul, because you really cannot have healing, or you really will not have healing without both. You can continue to heal the body, but this life is about death. So the easiest way life can teach you is by harming your physical life and making you fear death. That is one of the hardest lessons I have come to learn with certain ailments and pain that I go through. And that's why I'm really into these studies is, I started drinking at a young age, like 10 years old, just raiding the liquor cabinet and then filling it with water. But, and I deal with those demons, and I've faced that and moving forward. And now I barely drink one beer a week to, 1 beer a month. And I really like beer, so that's kind of an issue, but I battle it out and I face it. There's other ailments that I have to face and other habits I have to face, and those things are just what make us us. And all we can do is learn from them, and that's what healing really is. It's a process of learning. And I'll leave you with one more thing, because my baby just woke up again. In shamanic culture, one of the things that you go through before actually achieving, as we would say in the Western world, enlightenment, you actually have to go through a major ailment or psychotic break. And that's just, it's in a lot of different cultures that this is a standard thing. So just something to think about, folks. Food for thought. This is Thrice's download, Healing Body and Soul. I hope you enjoyed this. Look into some of the things I talked about. Try to look it up for yourself. I always tell people, go Google and just type in whatever you want and study, guys, because that's what this is about. Collective consciousness. Evolve collectively and study together and learn from each other. Have a great day, guys. Be blessed. It's all up to you.
Don't worry, we'll find you someday, so soon. This is our world. This is our time to rule. Andrew, you get the word. You have no idea what's going on. And all those people are simply
couple of licks, couple of clips. I'm just gonna spit this reality that's coming straight to trip. No one wants to show, but I'm gonna let you know that we about to fall deep down a dark rabbit hole. Couple of licks, couple of clips. I'm just gonna spit this reality that's coming straight to trip. No one wants to show, but I'm gonna let you go down a deep dark rabbit hole. Cataclysmic contradictions got people fucking bitching. No one knows what to do, but everyone is straight itching. About to pull the trigger and let it all go. Just start to slow the reality to a depth that just goes to read. Let it be straight me, stand in my brother's place, so we may not ever be like the godson that gave us grace. Taking out by his own race. What would they think is becoming such a damn disgrace? Teaching all this hate and passing it on, carrying it, cause they know that this is the truth, it does wrong. But they wearing the stain of Cain on their sleeves, and knowing all the shit they do is acting like straight thieves. But they come and slaughtering all these people like you and me, and all we can do is stand up on our 2 feet, raise up the flames and show him what happens when you speak his name, and burn till he's gonna be a fucking straight. Couple of licks, couple of clips. I'm just gonna spit this reality that's coming straight to trip. No one wants to show, but I'm gonna let you know that we about to fall deep down a dark rabbit hole. Couple of licks, couple of clips. I'm just gonna spit this reality that's coming straight to trip. No one wants to show, but I'm gonna let you go down a deep dark rabbit hole. Listen up to a different type of touch. Information coming straight like a rush that you don't know what to do but break or fumble. But in truth you're gonna break, you're gonna crumble. Can't sit and stumble or pass it on, you gotta carry it on. Push forth, go strong, carry the flame, keep it lit, stay in place. In your